Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. I got a good video for you today. I got a video on the Andrew Tate arrest when he was arrested in Romania and he's being held. They just took 4 more vehicles of his, and I'm going to get into this video here in a minute. Before I get started, please check me out on YouTube member programs, Patreon. Check us out in the book, Gangster Redemption. You know my cigars are out. They're doing well as well. Just check us out everywhere if you could. And please, if you like what I do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It does help. First of all, I wanted to get into this video because I think it's a good video because people have been emailing me, asking me what I think of Andrew Tate and what happened to him and is he a misogynistic person and all of that kind of stuff. Well, people know how I am, so I'm going to say it like it is. First of all, what you do in your own home is your own business, period. End of story. As long as you're not hurting people, as long as it's 2 consenting adults. Now, in the Andrew Tate case, so to speak, it's coming up. He was arrested in Romania. I mean, he had OnlyFans. They had a girl from last March say she was raped. Do I believe that? Listen, I find it hard to believe that all the stuff I've read about, nobody said he's been a violent person in any way, shape, or form. So if he's not a violent person in that way towards somebody, why are they doing this? Do they want his money? He is a social influencer. Am I just sticking up for an influencer because that's what I do? Not at all. Let's look at the word misogynistic and what it does mean. Look right here what it says. It says have contempt, have prejudice towards women. What does that mean? I don't get it. I mean, I don't see where anybody, if you're a gay guy and you don't like women, are you misogynistic? Are you prejudiced towards women? I know gay people who say, oh, I'll never, I wouldn't go to women, fuck them women, whatever it is. Does that make them misogynistic or just they don't like what they don't like? I don't think this guy's misogynistic and I don't think he's prejudiced towards women in any way. Then some women said, well, some of the women actually tattooed their bodies, property of Andrew Tate or something of that nature. Listen, I have people who tattoo on their bodies, I'll never forget, on the back of their thing, because I've done it, and my daughter done it, and people have done it. Does that make me a bad person because somebody did it because I did it? Did I make them do it? Did I put a gun to somebody's head? Did I do it? Of course not. Obviously, I respect everybody, and everybody knows that. I have 0 prejudices in me. I don't know if Andrew Tate has prejudices in him. That's between Andrew Tate and whoever he deals with. I think people start putting monikers on people in the wrong way. Now, when you say misogynistic or when you say respect, listen, I have respect for all people, period. End of story. I don't think you can even go deeper than that. I think when we start judging other people, we become prejudiced or another person becomes prejudiced towards that person. I'll just take the Berkeley stuff. Berkeley would not let certain comedians go in there and speak because they said, oh, they're not speaking what they want. Well, then that's not free speech. And that's not what Berkeley should be about, or any college for that matter. And that puts you in a different category. To be truly open and honest with you, I'm a true libertarian, meaning I want the government out of my business. I want to be able to do what I want to do in my own home as long as I'm not hurting anybody and as long as it's consenting adults. And that goes for whatever it is. And I think that's what Andrew Tate is doing. Does he have an OnlyFans page? Now, this is with him and his brother. And another thing I don't like about the case is, and I don't know the Romanian law. I know in the United States law, I think it's wrong when they take X amount of money and stuff. They already took, I think it was 11 cars, some homes and stuff. They just took 4 more vehicles from this guy. Now, why did they do that? What are you trying to do? You're trying to prevent him from paying for defense or prevent him from using his assets. Nobody's saying he got his assets from illegal gain. That's not what I'm hearing. Obviously, if you're using it for certain stuff, I think they should, 1, have to prove that. 2, why you taking his cars and why you taking his house with stuff he can use to pay for a lawyer, pay for legal defense. Listen, is he outspoken? Absolutely. I've heard him on a few shows. Now, is he brash? Maybe, yes. Does he believe in his way? I could see where I would get very pissed off and I would get very mad at the situation. I really would, because you're trying to just silence a guy from saying, hey, listen, this girl's not pretty enough to demand something. Listen, so somebody goes, that's crazy. Why would you even put the prettiness involved? Listen, how does a girl go to work? How does a girl dress up? She dress up maybe seductively, maybe showing cleavage, maybe not. Whatever she does, she's doing it and she's using that to get ahead in her own way. Take girls who are strippers or girls who work in the porn industry or whatever it is. Listen, it's their choice to do that. Nobody's breaking your arm to do that. I'm all for it, obviously. Well, shit, I wish I could be a porn star. But obviously, I'm not good looking enough. But my point being is, if they are good looking enough and they're using their looks and talents, whether it's sexual talents or whatever it is, to get ahead, that is up to that person. Again, now people are going to say, well, they're persuading them because they won't pay them or they can't get as good a job. Well, now we're trying to tell people how to run a business. This is a private business. His is a private business. He runs a private business. If Andrew Tate wants to hire people who he says, put a tattoo on your arm if you'd like, and I'm not forcing you to it. I'm not going to hold you down and tattoo you or anything of that nature. And you don't do it, you say, I quit. And then someone said, well, why should I lose my good paying job? Because that's who owns the business, period. End of story. We are getting to the point where we're wanting governments or people who want to cancel other people or people like that run what's going on. Listen, if you don't like Andrew Tate, you're a woman, don't follow him. Don't buy his merch. Don't buy whatever he does. And don't get so mad. If they didn't do that, he wouldn't be relevant. And then obviously he wouldn't be in the situation he's in. When you're trying to tell him how to run an OnlyFans, let's take OnlyFans. I know what OnlyFans is. I looked into it. I was offered an OnlyFans. I might do one someday. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Listen, it's my choice then to do it. If I show something on that OnlyFans and someone says, well, you didn't want to, don't look at it. Or if I'm in any kind of video you don't like, obviously I have to follow YouTube regulations. And I do, because I understand I might not get monetized. They might not put it out or whatever it is. And I follow rules, obviously. And if you work for a company and that man has his own way of doing things, you don't have to work for him. You don't have to listen to him. If he's on a TV show, you don't have to watch him. And that is all called freedom. For them to say now he's being charged with some serious charges. He's being charged with rape, a sexual assault. I haven't seen it yet. I really haven't read any documents where someone said, we were having sex and he beat me or hit me or hauled me down. Now, if they did that, obviously, and that's proven, obviously that's wrong and he should be held accountable for that. Now, if you're with a guy and you guys have role playing, you do what you do and you do it, and then afterwards you said, I didn't like that, but I gave permission to do it, but I didn't like that. And now I'm going to say rape. That's bullshit. Let's face it, people do a lot of things. They should all be held accountable for what they do. Number one, everybody. Goes for a woman. I'm not saying he's being falsely accused because I don't know that. I'm not saying he's being rightly accused because I don't know that either. I find it hard to believe, and I don't know Romanian police, and I don't know how that works, that they actually charged him with these crimes. I'm guessing from people's words, because I'm not hearing that there's video out there that he did something, and I don't know in the context that was taken. It's funny because as a man who's a libertarian, and I'm not a religious person per se, but I'm spiritual. I have my own spirits, the way I believe in things I believe. I'm spiritual, but not religious. I don't look at any one thing and say, oh, okay, we need to do it my way or just my way. I don't buy that. I really don't. That's not the way I look at things. I look at things as, hey, I'm an individual. Larry's an individual. Larry gives his permission to do something. I'm not going to take it back or say that somebody did me wrong because that happened. I won't do that. I might not like it. I might wish I didn't do it. But I'm not going to try to accuse somebody of doing something. I would never do that. Things that happen to me, and it weren't because I liked them. Whether it was being strapped down, beaten, and tortured, I didn't like that. And that's for sure. There is no way people should be calling other people names or calling them misogynistic without knowing the deepest. I don't even like the word misogynistic. I really did get and I looked into this word pretty good, have contempt towards women. What does that mean? What does that really mean? is it a hatred, contempt? Is nothing they could do is right? So listen, I don't get that either. Or being prejudiced towards women. Listen, there's prejudice of any type. Any type is wrong. But I mean, if you don't like women because you're gay, does that make you misogynistic? I don't think so. If you don't like gay people because you're not gay or whatever it is, does that make you prejudiced against gay people? Absolutely not. That's not your preference. Being prejudiced towards something is where you have a hatred that you want to either do them wrong or see wrong done to them. Just because he says things like, hey, you're not pretty enough to want from a guy. Look at you. You're a 6 and you want a 10. That's what people would tell me. That's what he does. Well, you don't like the way he says things. You don't like, maybe because it hurts. Maybe he's right. Listen, that's like me, Larry Lawton, wanting a swimsuit model and me not getting that swimsuit model and thinking, oh, I got wronged or whatever it is. Listen, do you think some swimsuit model wants Larry Lawton? Do you think some 35-year-old beautiful woman that I don't know, maybe she does, maybe she don't, but does that really mean she wants me? And if she doesn't want me, is she wrong? Is she prejudiced against men because she don't want me? Or should not somebody say, Larry, who are you kidding? You can't get that woman. I get it. They're right. Maybe I'm just too basic. Maybe I'm just too straightforward. Maybe I'm just too a person who says it like it is. Listen, I had a guy on my show. He's a very good friend of mine, Chris Hollyfield. He's a little person, and I learned how to say it. And I asked him, I said, Chris, on my show, listen, when I grew up, they'd say midget. They had midget wrestling. Is it wrong? He says, Larry, I don't care what you say. He is a person who is not offended by that. And now, do I go with the norms? Obviously. I never use the N-word because I don't use it. It just doesn't even come to mind. I grew up where nobody cared what color anybody was, period. It's just the way I grew up. I grew up in the Bronx and Brooklyn, New York, and we didn't care. If you lived on our block, you were good. Whether you were Hispanic, whether you were black, whether you were Asian, it didn't matter. If you lived on this area, you were in. You were a friend. You were a person. If you didn't matter what you were, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, you were out. And it didn't matter. So it wasn't like, oh, that guy was black and we did something and we hated him. No, you didn't belong in our neighborhood. Or that's the way we thought, obvious, back in the 70s, actually. So it wasn't ever a prejudice thing. So I think to be saying you're prejudiced against women, that's a hard thing. I don't even know that is a thing. How can you be prejudiced against you're prejudiced against men? Is a lesbian prejudiced against a man? I know lesbians will kick your ass and say, man, I wouldn't want that. Fuck them men. I don't give a shit or whatever. Does that make that person prejudiced against men? No, she don't like men. Period. Who cares? I'm just blown away by especially with what's going on with this Andrew Tate, that he faces this. And I honestly think this. I think he faces this because he is so outward. I'm sure people could do that to me too. Obviously, I'm not an Andrew Tate, and I don't have the size of his platform or the size of his audience or fans. Listen, I'm very vocal. I don't think people should judge people in any way because I don't judge people. And everybody who knows me, if you're a woman who follows me and I write to you on when I do comments, because I do comments, a lot of you know that. And when I do comments, I love when someone says, Larry, you're good looking, you're my man, whatever. I don't prejudice against anybody, even young people. People say, oh, Larry, just because they're young, they have an opinion, they have a mind. And matter of fact, a lot of times the young people are right. But I don't think young people want to see what's going on with Andrew Tate. I really don't. I think most of my audience, at least, is people who are pretty down earth. And you guys know I had the opinions on Derek Chauvin when he killed the guy. I didn't like that. I think it was wrong. And I'm outward against bad cops or good cops. I have my opinions like everybody else does. I consider them pretty well-educated views because I've been around for a while. I'm not a kid. I'm 61 years old, and I consider myself hip with the young people. At least I do, anyway. And most of you guys agree with that. And you say, Larry, you asked me for an opinion on Andrew Tate. A lot of emails came in on this. And as I look more and more into the case, and I've heard and I know who he is, I've seen him on TV, and I started reading more into it. It's very hard for me to make judgment on this guy with what I know. And with what I know, I think he's getting a raw deal. Now, you could give me your comment on that. Could be true, could be wrong. There is no right or wrong. You have an opinion. I hope you give me your opinion. And I hope if you're mad at me for it, you're mad at me for it. But I will defend what I say because, one, I don't hate people. I don't judge people, period. That is not who Larry Lawton is, period. End of story. He's not. And if you know me, you know that. And I don't want you or anybody else to think, oh, Larry's just trying to stick up for people. I'm going to stick up for what I believe in always, and that'll never happen. That's how I fight the Bureau of Prisons. You know I'm very vocal against our prison system and our criminal justice system here in the United States because it's broken. And I will debate it with anybody. It doesn't make me hate the people who are in it. In fact, I think we need good law enforcement officers. In fact, I think we need good prosecutors. In fact, I think we need good guards. Many people ask me, Larry, I want to go into that field. What do you think? How will I be judged? How will I look at things? And I give you an honest answer. And the first thing I say is, listen, we need good people. So don't let anybody tell you not to get into that profession. We need you if you're good. We don't need the people who have the power-hungry shit. The guys who are fucking, I call them the little dick syndrome or the fucking Napoleon syndrome. They were beat up their whole lives and now they want to fucking be a guard and fucking have a power over people, or a cop for that matter. And I believe in all good cops. You all know that as well. I believe in it. I don't hate it. I believe in it, but I will say it like it is. And in this case, I'm really looking forward to see this man have his day in court. Again, I don't know the Romanian system, but I hope it's compassionate enough to let people at least speak their mind. What he does as far as OnlyFans and porn sites, good for him. Who the fuck am I? Good for him. Hey, whatever you want to do, do. And I believe in that too. You all know that. With that said, everybody, please have a great day. Please stay safe. Please make good choices. We got a lot coming out here. Having a lot of good times. I'm on the road. I'm doing some videos from New York tomorrow, next day. So you guys have a great day. I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.